There we go. All right. So I'm just going to wait a moment or two for people to hop on. And as you're hopping on, let us know what your favorite thing to do in the summer is. I'd love to know. I'm going to open up my Facebook because for some reason, sometimes I don't always see the chat here. So let me open that up. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And, as you're jumping on, you can, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask your questions in the comment box. I will take breaks at little moments to, just check who's commenting, but also to check to see if anybody has any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to comment underneath below, and I will be more than happy to answer them. So yay, we are officially getting started. And, if you've been in my world for a while, you know that I do like to talk about hormones. So we are going to discuss hormones today, as that definitely relates to why women over 30 struggle with losing the weight off of their tummy and thighs, or struggle with getting rid of the fat off of their tummy and thighs. So as you're hopping on, let us know where you're watching from and what your favorite thing to do in the summer is. And we're going to go ahead and get started officially. Yay! All right. So today in this training, we're going to be discussing why you've gained weight here, the root cause of it, and why it's been so hard to lose despite doing all the right things like eating right, walking 10,000 steps, or doing cardio, or, counting calories, right? So what you may not realize is that what you may be doing may be sabotaging your progress. And so we're going to be busting some common myths that you think that you have to do in order to, melt the fat off of your tummy and thighs. And, we're also going to be discussing what you can do to change and start making progress. And, this is going to help you, especially when you know what the root cause of why you've been struggling to melt the fat off of your hips, your tummy, your thighs, and why it's been a struggle. When you know what the root cause is, that's when you can start to make progress. That's when you can start to, get the needle moving in the right direction. That's when you can start to see those inches drop off your tummy and thighs. And who doesn't want that, right? I know for myself, when I went through my own weight loss struggle, that, this was something that, I struggled with. I really did. When I put on a bunch of weight, the first place that it went to was my hips. Let me know in the comments, if, when you put on weight, if it just goes straight to your hips or straight to your tummy. And there's no shame if this is an area that it goes. Still to this day, if I don't dial in my macros and I'm not like keeping track of, what I'm eating. And when I see keeping track, I mean keeping track in the way of, making sure that I'm having each of the macros at each of my meals, right? Like say if I'm just having a snack attack and not just a snack attack, but say I've had a couple of days of that, one of the areas that, fat tends to accumulate is still my hips. But because I know what to do, I don't actually it's very easy for it to just melt off. It's very easy for it to just get burned off. Now, this wasn't always the case. Back in 2013, when I was going through my own weight loss struggle, this is one of the areas that, I really, I expected the weight to just drop off, and it wasn't. Despite that, I was doing 3 to 4 hours of cardio, despite the fact that, I started to cut out carbs. I even started to cut out cheese. And I'm like, why Why isn't this fat going away? And I do remember feeling very frustrated that, I'm like, I don't get it. I work my legs so hard. I work my tummy so hard. Why is this fat not going away? And, being fed up that I was just like, what's the point? I'm putting all this work in for what, for it to remain the same. It can be very frustrating, but also very discouraging. And, this is why I wanted to do this workshop, because I know what it's like to go through that struggle. I also know what it's like when you're putting the work in and, you're like, yeah, it should just be coming off. And when it doesn't come off, it can be very discouraging. You can feel very disappointed when, it's not, things aren't moving the way that they should, whether that you're trying to get rid of those excess inches around your midsection, your waist, hips, or if it's, you're trying to get the scale to budge in the right direction, right? So, this is why it's good to be aware of what's going on in our body, especially hormonally, because as much as we think hormones are, just have to do with sex, no, they don't. They have to do with a lot of different functions in our body, and they are all connected in some way, or, related in some way. And, actually knowing what's going on in your body is what's going to make the difference for you either getting the, scale to budge in the right direction, or, helping you get back to your ideal size. I'm doing a thing right now. Okay. So one of the things that helped me was, finding out why I was going through, why the weight wasn't coming off, why, I was accumulating fat in certain areas, and why no matter how hard I worked, it wouldn't go away. So let me know in the comments if you can relate to that, or if you're going through something that's similar to that. Let me know in the comments. Whoops. I didn't mean to turn that on. Stop. Okay, so anyways, let me know in the comments if this is something that you've been dealing with recently, or something that you've been struggling with. Go ahead and let me know. And so when we are struggling with, trying to tone certain areas, and despite us working out, despite, doing cardio, doing all these quote unquote the right things, right? When it's not, we're not making progress, right? It's time to really, ask ourselves, okay, like what is happening? What is happening in my body? What is happening? What am I eating? Is there a specific type of training that I should be doing? Or, is this training good enough? Am I, doing this training at the right intensity? There's certain things that we need, certain questions that we need to definitely ask ourselves. And, when we're first starting out, or, when we start to work towards a goal, one of the things that we need to know is where we're starting from, right? Where we're starting from, and then, what it is that we're actually doing that may either be hindering or causing those symptoms, or those, causing yourself to struggle more, right? Like, I know for myself, there's things that I was doing that I didn't realize that I was doing. So as you're hopping on, let me know in the comments if you can relate to having to struggle to losing the weight. Oh, there we go. Good. So let me know in the comments if you've been struggling losing the excess fat off of your tummy and your thighs. And, in today's discussion, we're going to kind of break it down why this has been happening. So, And if you are someone who is a beginner and is just starting out on their fitness and weight loss journey, I want you to let you know that you're in the right place, and you're in the right place if you're someone who's been exercising and eating healthy for a while, but you're struggling to get rid of the muffin top and the hip dips. Sorry, let me grab water. It's dry in here. Okay, we are back. So it can be a real struggle to lose the fat off of the hips and the tummy. Now, why is that? There's certain reasons why you may have, been struggling, or you may be struggling to lose it. So one of the things that at the time I didn't know was that hormones have to do a lot with where we put on weight, and not just where we put on weight, but where our body will store fat, right? And, fats, when we put on excess weight, it can definitely put us in line for other things. Hold on one second. I have to shut this door. Sorry, outside noises, they're distracting. Anyways, when it comes to, why you've been struggling, there's certain things that might be in play. One of the things is, and, as much as people think hormones just have to do with sex or just have to do with certain conditions, no, hormonal imbalances can happen at any time. Sometimes people have hormonal imbalances and they're not even diagnosed. Right? A lot of the time people live with hormonal imbalances and they're not even diagnosed. They don't even realize that a lot of the symptoms that they may be having actually are related to hormones, right? Symptoms like cravings, insatiable cravings, cravings for carbs, constantly being hungry, right? These are some of the symptoms when hormones can become unbalanced. And, when it comes to our hormone health, as we get older, certain hormones do become out of balance, right? And, you can exercise all you want, but if you're dealing with a hormonal imbalance, whether it's one or there's a few, and, you've been struggling to lose the weight, this is part of the reason why, is because of hormonal imbalances, right? And with hormonal imbalances, the good news is that there are things that we can do to improve them, right? Now, what causes hormonal imbalances, right? Some of the things that cause hormonal imbalances are what we're putting into our body. I hate to say it. It was hard for me to hear it too, and it wasn't just hear it, but realize it was the food I was eating that is causing hormonal imbalances. Too much stress, too much chemicals in my home as well. Like when I say chemicals, I'm literally talking about chemical cleaners. Like a lot of you may not realize it, but laundry detergent, when that gets absorbed into your skin from like you using, for example, Gain, the chemical ones, the ones that are not eco-friendly, right? And as much as like they smell really good, they're really not good for your health. They can disrupt your hormones. Not only that, they can cause a lot of respiratory issues along with skin issues too. If you're someone who has like eczema or dermatitis, or you have any kind of allergies, asthma, bronchitis, any kind of respiratory issues, you definitely want to make the switch to eco-friendly cleaning supplies, right? And not just eco-friendly cleaning supplies, but eco-friendly like laundry detergent, because a lot of the time you may not realize it, but our skin will absorb those chemicals, and if you're wearing clothes that has like chemical laundry detergent on it, what tends to happen is your body is absorbing those chemicals, and you may even notice you're getting rashes and stuff. If you're getting rashes, it might be time to change your laundry detergent. And I know it's a hard one for people to kind of change because, we've been told for such and such years that, it's it's safe for us to use. And, you know, it's not until you get older. And for some, they may have experienced, you know, rashes and sensitivities even from a younger age. So that's another thing that you can do to bring hormones into balance. Now, we'll kind of focus on some of the hormones that are, you know, related to specifically your tummy and your thighs, because once we kind of pinpoint which hormones we need to bring into balance, that's what can make it easier for you to, you know, lose the weight, for you to, you know, tone up these areas, because, you know, it is frustrating, it is discouraging when, you know, you don't have, you know, you're putting on all this work, you're imagining that it should just drop off, and it's not. You almost feel like you're failing yourself in some way. You feel discouraged because you're like, I just did all this work. Why am I not seeing the payoff? Why am I not seeing the results from it, right? So, okay. So part of the reason why, and before we go into this, let me know if you can relate to any of this. You can go ahead and let me know by commenting below. Oh, I saw a comment. Okay, let me just check. Okay, so Tracy has a question. Does it take a very low sugar diet to tone stomach? My struggle is cold, sweet drinks and ice cream through the summer, thinking I will just take a break until cooler weather. So yeah, if you try to cut out sugar, because sugar is definitely something that can make you bloat. Sorry. I hear myself going off again. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. So one of the things that you do want to do is to start cutting out sugar, because that is something that can definitely make you bloat. That is something that you'll definitely want to cut out. Now, it's unrealistic to cut out all. If you can do your best to cut out foods that have added sugar into them, foods that, you know, have a lot of high sugar, that will help you bloat less. And that is actually tying in with one of the reasons that people end up bloating, or not just bloating, but you know, have a hard time losing the weight off of their belly, is because of sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar. I know it's so good in like an ice cream, and it's so good in like freezies, and I don't even have freezies these days, but every now and again, you know, it's a hot day and you want an ice cream fix. I totally understand. Try to keep it minimal, right? Like, it's not to say you can't have it all together, but if you're working towards a goal, right, you can't expect to get toned abs or a flat tummy, you know, if you're having like, you know, sugary foods, right? It's just not going to happen, because sugar is one of those things that makes you bloat, right? And sugar is also inflammation causing. So that was a good question. I like that. But you definitely want to try and cut back on the sugar as best as you can. Cut back or avoid. If you can't avoid, then I would just say cut back altogether. And you know, do your best when it comes to the movement. Keep your movement going. So like, you know, doing not just cardio, but also incorporating resistance training too, or HIIT or yoga HIIT. You can also do that as well. So let me know in the comments if you can relate to any of this, and then we'll dive into some of the reasons why you may be having a hard time losing the weight. So let me know if you can relate to any of this. You can just let me know in the comments, yes, or you can let me know no too, but let me know in the comments. You can say yes, or, you know, I totally get, that's me. All right, so before we dive any further, can you relate to this? Are you tired of doing cardio or spending hours in the gym and not getting the results? Are you fed fed up with cutting out things like bread, pasta, and potatoes? Are you doing intermittent fasting on your own, skipping meals or counting calories, or using MyFitnessPal to lose weight? Are you fed up with feeling guilty and beating yourself up when you snack or indulge? Are you unsure of how to get the scale to budge and drop inches so you can get back to your pre-baby weight or weight you were in your 20s? Do you often bump into things because of the size of your hips? I know this one was one that I could relate to when I put a lot of size in my hips. Do you often feel bloated and tired? Do you feel frustrated and discouraged because you're trying all of these things and putting this work in and getting no results? So let me know if you can relate to any of those. And, you know, if you can, just type yes in the comments. I'm going to check the video again. Awesome. I don't see anybody commenting just yet. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, Bobby Joe says, I find I eat when I am bored, depressed. When I do, I bake cookies. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Bobby Joe. Yeah, and you're not alone. Like there's, you know, I know for myself when last year when like my best friend had passed away, like, you know, when you see, you know, someone's gone through a breakup and they grab for ice cream, I swear I had like, not a week of ice cream, but last year I definitely, that week when I found out, I went for, I don't know, there was ice cream in the fridge and I ended up eating, like I've never sat and ate like, you know, a quarter of a, it wasn't like a big tub, but it was like this. Anyways, I ate like a quarter of it. I don't think I've ever sat there and ate like a quarter of it. So, you know, when we do go through depression, we do tend to crave certain things, right? We may tend to crave more carbs. We may tend to crave sweet stuff. And, you know, sometimes, you know, if this becomes where it's kind of a consistent pattern, sometimes we have to, you know, become aware of the pattern and then try to break the pattern. So, you know, if you are someone who, you know, gives into snacks or gives into indulgences, I want you to know, you know, it's not your fault. And, you know, there is a better way of, you know, dealing with our stress as well. And, you know, sometimes it's okay to have a cookie if we're not like, you know, if we're feeling a certain way and we're like, we just shouldn't always rely on it, right? We should have other things that, you know, that can also uplift our mood, right? Now, when we are depressed, one of the hormones that, you know, is possibly low is serotonin. And, you know, sometimes too, when we are, for example, going through something, right? Like sometimes when we're going through a stressful time, our body may naturally crave salt, right? And, you know, it's okay. It's normal, right? So the key is moderation when we are going through stressful times, and say we are giving into like, you know, cookies, or sometimes with me, it's chips. Moderation, like kind of just being like, okay, I'm just going to have, you know, a few of these, or, you know, maybe I'm just going to have 2 cookies. I know like that week when my friend passed away and I was totally depressed, you know, I don't know if the moderation thing came into play. It was more like the day after that I'm like, okay, I'm having that sweet craving again. And I had to remind myself, okay, you can't just, you know, eat as much as you want with the ice cream, because I binged that night. I did. I'm just gonna say it. But the key is like becoming aware of what's going on in our body, right? And when we are having sugar cravings, not only is it due to certain hormones, but even stress, right? And if you're someone who eats sweets on a daily, this can also cause a roller coaster as in the blood sugar roller coaster, right? And sometimes when we have something that has sugar in it, it causes us to crave more sugar, right? So and I totally forgot to introduce myself. So before I go any further, I should formally introduce myself. Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm a certified personal trainer, yoga and nutrition wellness coach, and the founder of Thai Fitness and the Fierce Body Launch Formula. And I help busy women lose weight and drop inches in a sustainable way without having to spend hours in the gym cutting carbs or counting calories so that they can feel amazing and confident in their body. So over the years, I've worked in gyms like Premier Fitness and Good Life. And then over the last 7 years, I've had my own business working with clients, working with women, and it's been great. And I did tell you a little bit about, back in 2013, I had my own battles with weight. And, for me, it was binge eating, binge snacking, binge eating. I know that's what it led to me putting on a lot of weight in my tummy and my thighs, right? So, and it can be very discouraging when, you go through something like that, especially when you're like, I'm putting in all this work and yet not seeing the results that I know I can get, or seeing the results that I should be getting, right? So if you're in that same boat, let me know. And one of the biggest reasons why we gain weight or why we put fat on in certain areas, we've talked about hormones. We didn't go in deeper into the hormones. We will in a moment. But one of the things is hormones. The other is poor nutrition and inactivity. And when I say that inactivity, I really mean inconsistent exercise or inactivity altogether. Like there's no working out being done whatsoever. And the third reason is also a slow metabolism, right? So there's 3 reasons why we struggle with weight, but not only struggle with weight, why we also struggle to lose fat in certain areas. And one's definitely hormone imbalance. 2 is poor nutrition and inactivity or inconsistent exercise. And 3 is slow metabolism, right? And, you may not realize it too, but, macros really make a difference with everything. And as we get older and our body goes through certain changes, we need to adjust our macros, right? It's not like we always need to adjust it like on a yearly or 3-month basis, unless like we're putting on weight and when I say putting on weight, there are some people that they want to put on muscle weight. When you're losing weight, you also want to adjust your macros or adjust your calories especially when you're losing significant amounts of weight, right? Because someone who has more weight on them, they're going to require more calories, right? So, and this is where we need to have macros dialed in, because when it comes to fat loss and losing fat in certain areas, we definitely want to make sure we're eating the appropriate amount of macros, right? So going into the whys, so we're going to go into some of the hormones that are at play when we are going through when we're struggling to burn the fat off of our tummy and thighs. So some of the hormones that may be at play are, for example, estrogen. And let me see if I can share. Where did that go? I don't know where my document went. Oh, maybe it's here. Okay, I had a document and now I don't know where it went. Okay, we're going to try this again. Oh, I found it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share here. How do we do this again? Bear with me, guys. I know how to work this stuff. I just sometimes forget as I'm doing it live. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Okay, maybe it's this one. Okay, share. And then, okay, perfect. Okay, so this is a hormone and fat storage chart. And this was something that was eye-opening for me when I was going through my weight loss transformation. So I learned this from a naturopath doctor, and she actually has like a more in-depth chart that like goes into more hormones than just this. But when it comes to certain areas that we gain fat in, there are certain hormones that are involved. If you want, go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I don't know how to make this bigger for you guys. I don't know. Oh, maybe this. Oh, there we go. Perfect, I made it. All right, so fat storage area. You'll see fat storage area here along the left side, and then possible hormonal imbalance with women. So if you are carrying excess fat or weight here at your belly or abdomen, you're apple shaped, for example, this is indicative of low estrogen. So women who are going through menopause may experience this. This is also indicative of high estrogen. Now, estrogen, when it comes to weight loss and fat loss, we want estrogen to be in balance, because in order to lose weight, in order to melt fat off of our hips, especially, and our belly, it's essential that it needs to be in balance. And there are natural ways to bring it in balance too. So there's high estrogen. It's also indicative of high testosterone. So ladies who have PCOS often have high testosterone. And they also may have high insulin as well, and also high cortisol. So these are some areas that, you know, you may want to look into to find out what the root cause of it is, right? So high testosterone, high cortisol, high insulin, low growth hormone. The back of the arm, triceps, has high insulin, low DHEA. The hips, buttocks, hamstring, if you're more pear-shaped, that's more high estrogen, low progesterone. If you carry love handles above the hips, so that is high insulin, and it's also indicative of blood sugar imbalance. If you have chest over pectoral muscles, that's also high estrogen. Back, bra fat, high testosterone, high insulin. Thighs, low growth hormone, high estrogen. So take note of, you know, the fat storage areas and which ones apply to you. And, you know, I just want you to know that there are natural ways of, you know, bring hormones back into balance. I'm living proof of, you know, being put through a protocol that, you know, helped me balance my hormones. And, you know, it's really, I know a lot of women struggle with this. So, you know, this is something that I'm passionate about. This is my mission, just to help enlighten women, and not just enlighten women, but, you know, give them the tools they need so that they can succeed at their weight loss goals, so that they can succeed at achieving, you know, their weight loss goals, but not just weight loss goals, feeling good again, getting back their health, you know, not feeling like, you know, what's the point, you know, or discouraged, right? Because exercise is a great thing. Movement is a great thing to do in our lives. And, you know, and it's not just exercise that gets us there. It's also eating right, eating according to our conditions or our body and macro type, right? You know, these are things that we definitely want to keep in mind. I know when I was going through my weight loss struggle, one of the things that helped me was actually cutting out a lot of the foods that were actually causing a problem, even though at the time I didn't realize that it was causing a problem. So at the time, I didn't realize foods with added sugar were causing a problem. At the time, I didn't realize even foods that are, you're sensitive to, are the most common sensitivities. It's gluten or dairy, right? And I did cut it out for a bit, and I think that's why I made so much progress within a 6 weeks amount of time, because I had cut out those things. And I did in that time find out that I had a gluten intolerance too. So ever since then, it's been, no gluten. I did get back on dairy, but I made the switch to organic dairy, because in the regular dairy and cheese, what they pump the cows full of estrogen, those estrogens get passed on to us cheese lovers and milk lovers here, butter lovers. And so, if you are a cheese lover, a butter lover, milk lover, the good news is you can switch to other things. If you're someone who puts milk in your shakes, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying do organic milk, or use almond milk, or a different kind of milk. There is oat milk. I usually don't use oat milk. I use almond for my shakes. But, if you are going to use milk, use organic milk, because at least you're not getting passed, you're not getting estrogens passed on to you, right? And this was a big eye opener for me too. And once I made the switch, as much as it's a couple extra bucks for organic, cheese, organic milk, organic butter, it's so much better for you, because when you have regular dairy, cheese, and butter that has estrogen, it has the estrogens in it, it has hormones in it. Those hormones get put into your body. When your body has excess estrogen, there's certain symptoms that you may have. I'm just going to stop sharing this for a moment. And, when you are, as we get older, we know certain hormones don't get produced as much, and we need to be aware of that, right? So let me know in the comments if any of you have had any kind of, oh, let me see, I got more comments. Yes, okay. Narissa has a question. Best organic milk and cheese, in my opinion. So best organic cheese and milk would be, I like Organic Meadow. What's the other one? Sorry, I'm hearing myself again. Yeah. Okay. Organic Meadow. And what else is there? I know there's another one that I have. I don't remember it off the top of my head now. Organic Meadow. I'll have to take a picture of it and put it in the comments below, because I don't remember the name of it. But there's two kinds that I get. I love Organic Meadow. That would probably be the best one, I would say. And when it comes to making that switch, it may be hard at first, but it's so worth it. And as much as in our head we're like, oh, but I'm spending a couple extra bucks. What I found was I actually had, when you have the regular cheese, the regular milk, it's almost like you want more. I find when I go organic, I don't feel like I need to overeat with the cheese. I don't feel like I need to overeat with, with the milk. I can use a sensible amount. Now, I don't always have milk on its own. So I know as a teenager, I drank a lot of regular milk though. And it was almost like you drink a bunch and then you're like, oh, I want more, right? And I noticed when I have had the organic milk, it's not like I could literally have a cup and I'm good if I wanted to have a cup, right? So these are some things to keep in mind. And, other things that you may want to do too is, if you do feel like, there may be hormonal imbalances going on, yes, there are certain tests that you can do with your doctor. I would suggest maybe doing it with a naturopath though instead, because they have more in-depth tests. The other thing too with some of the hormonal imbalances that we may go through is, just being aware of some of the symptoms, right? So I'll kind of go through some of the symptoms. We'll talk a little bit about certain hormones now. So we'll first start with estrogen. Now, when estrogen is out of balance, the weight may go to our hips, the fat may go to our hips and thighs, right? So estrogen may just be viewed as a sex hormone, but it's so much more. So estrogen balance, like I said, is essential for achieving and maintaining fat loss. In premenopausal women, estrogen dominance causes toxic fat gain, water retention, bloating, and a host of other health and wellness issues. It also can cause fertility issues. It can cause other female cycle issues, like health issues with our cycle. And while premenopausal women with too much estrogen have the pear shape to their body, and menopausal women have more of an apple shape with more fat accumulation in the abdominal area. So researchers have now identified excess estrogen to be a great risk factor for obesity, as poor eating and lack of exercise. So some symptoms you can look for are spider or varicose veins, cellulite, heavy menstrual bleeding, when you're coming on your moon, PMS, characterized by breast tenderness, water retention, bloating, swelling, or weight gain, fibrocystic breast disease, irritability, mood swings or anxiety, headaches or migraine, especially before menses, high alcohol consumption, autoimmune diseases or allergies, fat gain around the hips, which we've been talking about, current use of hormone replacement therapy. So take note of any that relate to you. And, when it comes to fat, we have 4 different types of fat. There's subcutaneous fat, and this is that layer that's on top, the one that we can, if we grab it, we can pinch it. And there's also visceral fat. So we'll just focus on those two fats for now. And with the visceral fat, it's fat that's actually built underneath underneath the skin, but is built around your organs, right? So we want to not have that one because it's harder to get rid of. Now, it's not to say that, if you do have, the fat around your tummy or your belly going on, that, it's not to say that, you can't get rid of it. There are things that you will need to do and be proactive about to get rid of it. So when you have an accumulation of fat on your belly, it has to do with several hormones being out of balance, such as cortisol. Cortisol is high testosterone, high insulin, low growth hormone, high estrogen for menopausal women, and then high estrogen for premenopausal women, and then low estrogen for menopausal. So for this training, we'll just focus on a few of these. So cortisol, if you're not familiar with it, it is AKA the stress hormone. And if you have excess cortisol, stress is negatively affecting your health and your metabolism. And, when we go through times of stress, cortisol will rise. It can cause you to crave more sweets and carbs. It can also affect your sleep at night. So be very mindful of this. There are supplements that can help with this. One of the best supplements that I actually recommend when someone has high cortisol is Relora. That was one of the ones that I took, and yes. So it was one of the ones that I took, and that was beneficial to me. It really helped me when I was just trying to bring that hormone into balance, but it also helped me flatten my tummy, along with the workouts that I was also doing as well. And, some symptoms of high cortisol that you can look for are wrinkling, thinning skin, or skin has lost its fullness, hair loss, infertility, absent menses, unrelated to menopause, feeling wired at night, heart palpitations, loss of muscle tone in arms and legs, cold hands and feet, water retention in the face, poor memory or concentration, loss of libido, depression, anxiety, irritability, seasonal affective disorder, frequent colds and flus, high alcohol consumption, fat gain around left handles or a buffalo hump on the back of the neck or upper back, difficulty building and maintaining muscle, loss of bone density or osteoporosis, craving for sweets or carbs, hypoglycemia or constant hunger, difficulty falling asleep, difficulty staying asleep, especially between 2 to 4 a.m., less than 7.4 hours or 7.5 hours sleep a night, irritable bowel, frequent gas and bloating. So these are some of the things that you can look for. And then of course, insulin. So insulin is another one that it plays an essential role in our healthy body function, and an excess of it will make you too fat. Too much insulin not only encourages your body to store unused glucose as fat, but also blocks the use of stored fat as an energy source. This is why high insulin levels make losing fat, especially around the abdomen, near impossible. And going back to the cortisol, when you have high cortisol, it actually blocks your thyroid and can actually slow your metabolism down. So this is why it's so important to really reduce stress as much as possible, or find ways of managing our emotions and stress in a better, healthier ways, we'll say. Just because, there's always going to be stress in our life. There'll always be stress. It's how much we feed into that stress, right? And, or, for some people, they take on too much. They're just constantly going, right? So keep this in mind that, if you do have a lot of stress going on in your life, try to find healthy ways of dealing with it. Yes, the supplement Relora can definitely help. Other things can help too, like making sure throughout the day, right? Getting your 3 meals in, exercising, right? If you are going through a lot of stress, one of the best things that you can do is go for a walk, let off some steam using some weights, doing some HIIT, doing some yoga HIIT. Or the other thing that's actually really good is yoga. I'm not even going to go into meditation, because a lot of people sit here and be like, I can't meditate. I was one of them. I was one of those that when I try to meditate, a lot of chatter go on, right? That's how I was many years ago when I tried to meditate. So, but meditation, yoga, qigong, tai chi, these softer movements can actually be really relaxing as well. So can using essential oils too. So reducing stress is one of the things that you can do to start to, reduce, or at least bring these hormones back into balance. Now with insulin, and especially insulin, when it's high insulin, one of the things that you can do is use cinnamon, right? Because when you do have high insulin, this can be an ongoing battle, especially because you may feel hungry all the time. You may feel cravings for sweets and carbs, right? And it's those sweets and carbs that are actually packing more pounds on. They're causing you to bloat, right? So remember what I said, reducing inflammation causing foods is what's going to help you, get rid of the weight, but also bring your hormones back into balance too, right? And so knowing that, if you are someone who has a lot of cravings, one of the tricks that I actually use with clients, and when I've had that. I haven't had high insulin per se with myself, but when I notice I'm craving certain things like sweets too much, because maybe I don't have pop that often, but when I do, sometimes, it's like you get on that little sugar roller coaster, right? So anyways, cinnamon's something that you can definitely use to help keep blood sugar in balance, right? That's what you want to do when you are having these cravings. So cinnamon's something that you can use too. And, when we are talking about some of these hormones, we talked about high insulin, we talked about cortisol, and we talked about estrogen. And so I'm going to share with you what you can do to the 3 simple ways that you can melt fat off of your hips and your belly. So one of the things that actually helped me in the beginning was doing a food cleanse. Now, a lot of people feel icky when the word cleanse or detox comes up. And I get it, because there's so many products out there. There's all these tea cleanses. There's all these, products that, claim that they're going to detox you or cleanse you. And I'm here to tell you, guess what? You can do that same thing with food, straight up food. Like, the food you get from your grocery store, straight up. You can get, just do a grocery shop, get your lemons, get your greens, like green leafy vegetables. Yes, it's better to do organic green leafy vegetables just because they do spray, certain chemicals on certain foods just to keep them, to keep pests away, right? So it's good to, some things you want to do organic, right? So one of the things that helped me melt fat off of my hips and my belly was doing a food cleanse and doing food detox. And this is what helped me reset and balance my hormones. And it helped me reduce the inflammation that was actually causing hormonal imbalance. And, cutting out foods with added sugar, cutting out processed foods, including wheat or dairy. Which one? Chicken. What pasta? Oh, there's pasta. Okay, yeah. Chicken pasta, potatoes. Okay. Yes, dinner is coming. That's gluten-free pasta too. Okay, so one of the ways that you can melt fat off your hips and belly is to do a food cleanse and a detox to reset and balance your hormones. This is what's going to help you, just get rid of those toxins. Over time, when you have foods that, are not the best for you, it can make your liver, it can make other organs sluggish. And this is why it's so, so, so important as we are adults to at least, if especially if we want to make improvements in our health and our well-being, to do a cleanse or a food detox. Now, if that's too drastic for you, or if it's too much for you to do, the other thing I would suggest is just to start eating clean, because that can also detox your body naturally as well. And yes, eating clean means no gluten, no dairy, no dairy that's like regular. You can still have the organic. The second thing that's going to help you to melt fat off of your hips and bellies is move your body daily using different types of movement, and movement that specifically balances your hormones. So I'm talking about your high intensity interval training. And it doesn't always include a lot of jumping. A lot of people have this misconception that high intensity interval training is a lot of jumping. It's not. You can literally take cardio moves, yoga moves, and, mix it in with your HIIT. There's also yoga HIIT. Yoga HIIT is amazing. You still get a really intense, or it's like a nice intense way of doing yoga. I like it. You get your HIIT and your yoga mixed in with it. So yoga HIIT, which is yoga and high intensity interval training. This really helps with balancing your hormones. The other thing too is with the yoga HIIT, because it combines yoga is really cool because it re-engineers your body and your mind. And literally when you're going through the poses, as much as like when you first start, you don't realize it, but when you're relaxing your body. Two, the other thing is you're literally all the poses have to do with some kind of chakra. And if you're not familiar with chakras, if you've been in my world for a while, sometimes, I do like to talk about chakras because they do have to do with our energetic body, our spiritual, mental, and emotional health. And, health isn't just about the physical, it's also about our spiritual, mental, and emotional. And the really cool thing about the chakras is they're all related to different hormones in our body as well. So we can even balance certain hormones by activating certain chakras, or even going into a yoga practice. You don't even have to have your intention be, I'm going to activate these chakras. It's great if you can, but if you're just like, what, I want to feel good today, or I want to, there's certain yoga movements that actually can help with certain conditions, right? Like there's yoga for back pain, there's yoga for menstrual issues, there's yoga. And believe me, when I've had menstrual cramps and I've done some of these yoga poses and then gotten such relief, or same with digestive issues and gotten such relief, that's the proof right there, and, I always say, try it for yourself, right? Yoga is such a great healing tool, that healing movement tool that, is, not, there are people that use it, but then there's people that are just so like, oh, yoga is just stretching. It's much more than stretching. And then, of course, with moving your body, there's also circuit training, right? So at least with circuit training, you're using the weights, which can be very beneficial for your thyroid, balancing your thyroid, especially if you're, going through a lot of stress. You definitely want to still balance your thyroid along with these other hormones as well. And at least with the circuit training, you can mix it with the HIIT or the yoga HIIT, or, do some kind of cardio in between your resistance training movements. Okay. And then 3, make adjustments to your nutrition and your lifestyle, making sure to eat enough daily and supplement as necessary. And I did share some of the supplements. I forgot to share one about the estrogen. If weight on your hips is something that is a struggle for you, indole 3-carbinol, that is the supplement that I used, and that every now and again I still use. The other thing to do is you can have more broccoli, more broccoli, kale, what else is there? Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. I feel like I'm forgetting one. I don't know. Okay, I can't remember the other one, but anyways, the cruciferous vegetables, get more of those in your diet, right? Get more of those in your meal. I don't really like using the word diet, but get more of those in your meals. Okay. And that's something that's going to help you get rid of the excess estrogen. And at least you can do it naturally that way. All right. So before we totally run out of time, so one thing I want to leave you with is, by targeting certain muscles and knowing what it takes to reduce fat off of our tummy, the good news is that you can start to make progress in getting the scale to budge in the right direction, and not only get the scale to budge, but you can get your nice your nice lean legs back, your firm booty and thighs, that flat tummy, right? You can definitely get that, and it is possible. And, it just takes a little bit of, sometimes you may have to, really figure out how you're going to get consistent. And if the key with this, any changes you make, is consistency, right? If you're just going to take it once in a while, you're not going to see the results. Or if you're just going to move your body once a week, you're not going to see the results, right? And you need the consistency, you need the accountability. And, for some of you, you may need to, really think about what you need in order to do that, right? Consistency with movement, consistency with nutrition, right? And, there's always going to be stress, but it does help to have healthy tools like exercise, movement, yoga, essential oils to kind of help with that stress, right? So consistency with the movement, the healthy eating, right? You need those two to be consistent for sure. You need to hold yourself accountable to it, right? And we're going to start to go into our workout. So I'm going to check to see, let's see if anybody's commented. Oh, yes. Okay, so the supplement, Bobby Joe was asking about the supplement. So the supplement that I had mentioned was Relora. Relora. I'll write it down in the thing now. Relora. I put it down in the comments. Relora, buy now. Okay, so yeah, that supplement was Relora, and then for the excess estrogen, Indole. Oh, it spelled it wrong. Sorry, Indole 3-carbinol. 3-carbinol. Can add, and I'll just put can add broccoli, Brussels. Yeah, found in cruciferous veggies. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just like writing and being live at the same time. Brussels sprouts. At least this way you guys got it. And what else did I say? Cauliflower, kale to your meals. Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys, so we're going to officially get started with our workout, our circuit. So I'm going to just give you some of the best movements that, you know, have helped me, have helped some of my clients, you know, reduce some of the weight that they've been carrying. And, you know, do your best to follow along. We'll do a quick warm up. We always want to warm up. Okay, and then I'm going to shut this part of the video so I don't hear myself. I want this work. There we go. Okay. All right. So when we're ready, let's go ahead and, oh, I need to make sure you guys can see me. Where did the thing go? There we go. Perfect. Okay. So we're good. All right, ladies, let's start with a warm up. Start with some shoulder shrugs. Then we'll go back. Good. And then from here, let's go into some hip circles next. Good. And then switching. Good. From here, hands come to the knees. Let's go into our knee circles and then switch. Good. Coming back up. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, hands come to heart center. We're going to do one of our first hip movements, yoga hip movements. Okay. Belly button tucked in means tighten your tummy, your lower tummy. And then from here, coming down, opposite elbow, opposite knee, come back up, breathe in. Good, you got this. Okay, we're gonna end up doing this for about a minute. We wanna warm our body up. Okay, you're doing awesome. Okay, I want you to really tuck that belly button into the spine or really tighten that lower tummy. You're doing amazing. Keep going, keep going. Excellent job so far. Good. All right, last ones. And last one. Okay, perfect. All right, from here, You can do one of two things. You can either go into high knees modified, or you can go into your front kick. So belly button tucked in and you're kicking up. Okay. So we're going to do 30 seconds of this. Okay, so we're just warming up here. And once again, tuck that belly button into the spine so you can really activate your lower tummy muscles here. Okay, keep going, keep going. Okay, and I think we're almost at 30 seconds. Excellent. All right. Feet together. We're going to hop out for our twist jacks. Opposite arm, opposite foot. Okay, so when you're ready, on count 3, 1, 2, 3, and go. Hopping out. 1, 2. Good. Repeating. So, and this is just the warm up. So jumping jacks, twist jacks, lat jacks, these are all good for reducing the hip fat. And it's definitely a cardio movement you want to incorporate into some of your workouts. Okay, we're doing awesome. Keep going, keep going. Once again, belly button tucked in so that you can activate your tummy with this one too. Okay, excellent job. All right, awesome. Okay, we're gonna go into our first circuit. Circuit 1. So we're gonna take a nice wide stance. Belly button tucked in, and you're gonna come down into your squat. And with your squat, knees behind the toe. Okay, so belly button tucked in, knees behind toe, coming back up. All right, on the count of 3, 30 seconds, we're gonna go side to side. 1, 2, 3, and go. Come down, and stepping to the side, coming back up. Okay, so once you got your form, you can start to speed up a bit. Excellent. Good. Excellent. All right, from here, if you have a mat, grab your mat. We'll go into some hip raises. So with our hip raises, we have feet just off the mat, belly button tucked in, and then from here, belly button tucked in, and then you're going to lift up, squeeze the glutes, 1, 2, coming back down. You can either let your back touch the mat, or if you want more sensation, let your body hover. Okay, we're going to end up doing 15 of these. 2, 3, lowering down, lifting up. 4, lowering down. Once again, lifting up. 5. And this time, press your big toe into the ground. Make sure your foot is planted. 6, 7, we're squeezing our glutes. 8, we should be feeling our glutes or hamstring. Squeezing. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, last one, and holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, awesome job. All right, next. So 2 movements You choose one. You can either do the V-sit bicycle, so you're going to come down onto your elbows and you'll point your toe at you if you're doing V-sit bicycle. Okay, this is V-sit bicycle. Or you can go into V-sit. Okay, we're going to aim for about 30 seconds on the count of 3. Ready? 1. Oh yeah, and V-sits are bringing the legs up and then coming in and out. Okay, so on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and go. Excellent job. Keep going, keep going. You got this. You're almost there. Excellent. Okay, last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, excellent. Good job. Next, going into our, this one's called fire hydrant. It's a really good one. Helps with outer thigh and your glutes. So belly button tucked in, knees directly under hips, hands directly under shoulders. And when you're ready, lifting up, 1, 2, coming back down. Once again, knee can come down to the mat or it can come up high. Good. So we're lifting up, rolling, and then coming back down. Excellent. We're going to aim for 10 to 12 of these. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. Switching sides. Okay, ready? And belly button tucked in and lift. 1, 2, 2, 3. Feeling our outer thigh and our glute. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, excellent job. Okay, next one. We're going to exercise next. Okay, so with bicycle, belly button tucked in, stack knees over hips. Here's the modified version. Okay, feet can be down. Modified. Or if you want, you can do just this. Belly button tucked in, lower back flat against that mat. And then from here, breathing in. 1, 2. Let's aim for 20. 4. Squeezing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Squeezing our tummy. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you got this. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, excellent job. Take a moment here, take a quick break. So if you're watching the replay of this video, you can always hit pause here, redo that little circuit if you want to do it as a workout. Yeah, I am almost done. Okay, so one of the other movements that you can do is, this one will be a shorter circuit. So we will be doing our next circuit with a donkey kick. So if you're not familiar with donkey kicks, you'll have your hands down here. Okay, shoulders underneath, elbows underneath shoulders, belly button tucked in. You're going to lift the leg, lift your left leg or your right leg, and you'll start to go into your donkey kicks. You're going to kick through your heel, okay? So you're going to push through your heel, belly button tucked in, okay? And this can be done both as cardio and as resistance. We're going to do 12 of these. 12. Good. And then switching sides. Good. And you can go to 15 for these if you'd like. 5, 6, 7. Doing that, our hamstring and our glutes. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you can always go up to 15 for those. Donkey kicks are amazing. They can be done in both cardio style and also done the other way. Done resistance style as well. Okay, so we'll go into our plank crawl out with mountain climbers. Not everybody likes mountain climbers, but they're one of the best movements that you can do. And then we'll leave it off with clamshells. Okay, so 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Coming down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming back up. Good. 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then coming back up. Okay, and we'll do a few rounds of these. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then comes back up. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. Excellent job. Last but not least, going into our clamshell. So making a clamshell mouth with your legs stay together. You can also have a band on just above the knee here if you need more sensation. Bring one leg up, 1, 2, squeezing our glute. If you feel nothing, chances are you might need a band, a thigh band. 5, 6, you got this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, the last one, and hold. So if you're doing clamshells, you can do 3 sets of 15, and that will definitely help with this hip and thigh area. Okay, when you're ready, switching sides. Belly button tucked in, and go. 1, 2, squeezing, 2, 3, lifting our leg up, feeling that glute, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, last one, and we're going to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, excellent job, guys. Bring your knees in, hug them tightly. Good. When you're ready, place one foot down. Take your left foot on top of the right knee, left hand. Take it on the inside of the left knee, and then just press. Should feel a nice stretch here. If you don't, and you need more sensation, just grab the back of that right thigh. Okay, good. And then switching. So right foot on top of left knee, right hand to left, or sorry, right hand to right knee, inside of right knee. This is our glute stretch or figure 4 stretch. And of course, if we need more sensation, as long as it feels good, we'll bring that leg up. good. All right. We did some outer thigh. So let's cross one leg over the other and bend. Sorry, it was gonna follow me. Okay, and then switch sides. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's take our legs out wide, interlace our fingers. Let's bring our arms up high. Nice deep breath in, and then arms to the side. Inhaling, coming back up. Good, hands to our hips, coming down and then bending. Okay, awesome job, you guys. Today was fun. If you have any more questions, you can leave them down in the comments below, or you can also feel free to message me privately if you need to. And of course, if you need help with, consistency and, just staying accountable to your workouts, your, getting back on track, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. So, and, it definitely helps having a plan in place, that, helps you go to where you need to or progress towards your goals. But it also really helps having somebody there to support you and hold you accountable. So if you do need my help, just know I am here for you. All right. Awesome job today. Happy Wednesday. And we will see you guys again soon. This was really fun. I love doing this, and I'd love to hear how it went for you. Have a great evening, and we will see you again soon. Bye.